they never get old. Like, I've had that tune stuck in my head for the past, I don't know how long,
Just so
like
you know,
4
guys, this is my
weeks,
third attempt to actually try
5
to
weeks,
do
maybe
this.
6 weeks since I watched that show. Ugh. They
Want to
won't
know
get
who
out of my
also pretty
head.
much has a
But,
way of easily remembering a song that's
yeah,
catchy? That'd be Nostalgia Critic, and he's talking about DuckTales and how it has a catchy theme.
so you're like, coming
Oh,
back to the reason why, one reason why I think the anime,
hey,
the
Lucia.
03
Yeah,
series
that's
is
the name
pretty
of this
good,
guy.
is because of this.
The one
This is from an
episode where
article. It
we
says the
have a
manga
focus
includes
around
some
lust.
sympathetic villains for sure, but you're never unsure of where you should stand. Even the
Oh.
story's anti-heroes are fully turned over
Oh.
to the hero's side by the end, upholding beliefs of in the sanctity
Want to know
of
who exactly
all
is
life,
also
the
an
worthlessness
anti-hero,
of
but is
revenge
also
and power of
really,
friendship.
really a
That's
good
in Brotherhood.
anti-hero? And how
But
you do it
here
right?
in
Dark
03
Pit from Kid
series,
Icarus
all the
Uprising.
heroes
Seriously.
get their
He's
darker
actually the
sides
character that
ironed
is
out by the
mysterious,
narrative
but
and
you
never
know for
go
a fact
back.
he has good
Wait,
reasons for
hold
what he's
on.
doing.
Wait, no, this is still
And
03. I
yet
don't
there
know
are
why
people
I
out
said
there,
that.
yet
It's the
the
next paragraph.
characters
But
slightly
all
in,
the heroes
well,
get
in the
their darker
game,
sides
mainly
ironed out by the
Palutena,
narrative and never
accuse
go
him for
back
being an
once they
abomination
leave
and that
throne
he should be
catharsis.
destroyed, even
The
though Dark
villains
Pit
who
did
remain
nothing
evil, mostly
wrong.
inhuman monsters or
Seriously,
sociopathic humans.
you saw
And
him literally,
that's
when you're
very
going through the
true.
level, you
That's
see
in
him taking
Brotherhood.
out
And
enemies, which
I
are the
guess,
Underworld Army.
somebody even
And
said
yet,
they
Palutena
thought
assumes
that
that he needs to be stopped
Brotherhood
because he
was
can do
like
wicked things with
Dragon Ball Z
Pandora
with
powers.
alchemy. While
Ugh.
I don't completely agree, I kind of get what they're saying.
Palutena,
The good people,
can you be really dense
after
at
all
times?
they've worked
For
for,
a
they're able to
goddess
get the
of
happy
light?
ending,
More like
which
goddess
is
of
touching and
war.
sad. At least the mostly
Anyways,
happy ending, even though there's some death along the way. They're able to go back to the life they were used to. Edward's able to go back to Winry. Even though he can't use alchemy, he's got his body back. Alphonse.
Oh yeah, remember her
back.
pretty much saying why she pretty much doesn't she doesn't like how the relationship of Ed and Winry is currently now.
Like,
yeah,
that's why I say
I still pretty much ask Ed, why would you go back to this girl if she's treating you that badly? You even see that he's afraid of her in that OVA, the second one. And you can tell that he's afraid and he bribes her not to hit him with the wrench.
Series, this is
seriously, Winry. Why?
That's a perfectly valid way of writing morality that works for the kind of story the manga tells. Exactly my point. With this kind of
sometimes
shonen story,
Brotherhood, it's got its cliches of it's good versus evil, blah 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 blah. If it can be done right, then I have nothing to complain about.
Hohenheim helps her out to a certain degree, but
also Hohenheim is actually a bit more likable, or at least tolerable in Brotherhood.
The anime adaptations villains have more understandable motivations based in more
he actually didn't really bother me that much.
Anti-heroes aren't so easily
in
moved
Brotherhood,
the hero's
so
side,
yeah.
And the audience is often left unsure.
Good job, anime.
The anime fleshes out everyone's point of view, leaving viewers to draw their own conclusions. The Fullmetal Alchemist anime has enough patience for every character struggles to show you all sides of the story, even though it's smaller in scope. 03, the second half, I think was a tiny bit rushed.
Yeah, I have to kind of admit.
Especially the last few episodes. Well, more like the movie rushed things. Like, the movie over-rushed it. The second half, the anime...
It's like, oh yeah, we have the homunculi. Let's put them as plot points and not pretty much give them potential or something.
Characters and stuff, more development with them. Like, 03, at the same time, 03 had such a subtle feeling to it. Like, it didn't have to have that in-depth development. You got an idea of each one of the characters, and they were able to level them out, so you knew some of the things they had went through, some of their own feelings. Even Sloth, nobody really cares about her, but she's actually...
Yeah, I used to not care about her, like I said in the last video, but now I do. I do care about what happened.
Yeah, and here, they
oh
said,
yeah, the anime.
this is in fact
people
the
talk
person
about
I
this.
shouldn't probably show, but
Yeah.
they said Brotherhood struck me as Dragon Ball Z with alchemy. I could not stomach it all. The original series was rushed, and they painted themselves into a bad corner with that Earth is on the other side of the gate thing. But it was
Oh yeah, the second comment down there.
you thought FMA
Yeah.
03 was rushed. I thought Brotherhood was rushed myself. Difference in opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I have
Though
to
the second
agree.
half of the
Brotherhood
first
at
anime
times it
series
was
minus the
rushed, but
movie,
the
which I
first
don't
season
want
you
to
could
get
tell it was
into,
rushed.
I really don't want to discuss that too much because I know a lot of people have really mixed feelings on it. And,
yeah, it could have been an anime that could have been conclusion of the entire manga for 75 to 80 episodes.
The last few episodes, like Dante's anticlimactic death, I have mixed feelings on that too.
Oh yeah.
I feel it was very.
It's irony. She got killed by something she basically.
Like she.
Yes.
Because of her lifetime, she spent her whole life looking down on humans, looking down on the homunculi. Well, not looking down on the homunculi per se, but looking down on emotions in general, looking down on
Speaking of the homunculi, we should have
needs.
gotten more with them in Brotherhood because, well, I know for a fact that they are in it, but it's just mainly talking about business or they're going through a battle, honestly. That's about what we got. Sure, there's little moments where we actually get them having a little characterization, but it makes you want to see more.
Then fails to see the gluttony's
especially with Lust and Envy's relationship.
Lust,
Come on.
Lust has died. He's the way he reacted was so sad, and it made me feel so bad for him. Like he was a child in that scene. You could tell just how childish he really is.
But yeah, in 03, Gluttony being really sad about Lust's death.
She cuts off his Ouroboros tattoo and causes him to become a mindless fucker, basically.
And yeah, I remember that. That was creepy, I have to admit.
It's not Gluttony's fault. It's her fault that she got eaten, because...
Yeah. Right. And I'm like, Gluttony, do us all a favor, eat her. Thank you.
People, it was only...
Imagine what Dante would have done to the other homunculi if she disattached their human emotions. And that would actually have been a lot more interesting. I mean, take a look at Envy.
To beat Father, basically. Though Truth kind of does. Truth is kind of the one who finishes it, but
in his if he was actually taking his humanity away, and
Dante,
yeah, it would have been a lot more interesting to see.
It's fully because of
I would not want that to happen. Envy it's just a thought
that causes her.
Anyways,
I wouldn't even say it's dumbass. It's because of her lack of compassion that causes her to become that way. That causes her to get eaten by her own creature, basically. The person she created, the person she brought into the world, rather.
Last time I checked, Gluttony wasn't really created by Dante. Rather, he was actually... There's no explanation of how Gluttony was created, but I assume it was someone who pretty much brought him back for reasons.
It was subtle. It wasn't like, in your face, you deserve this kind of thing. It wasn't something that...
It's like, whoa!
Very subtle, because
Gluttony ate her!
Right, say it was her fault, or they kind of expected you to decide. They kind of expected you to think about it. And 03 provoked a lot more thought.
03, Dante created greed and pride, which I think Rina didn't really knew a little bit at this point, but later on she does.
Headcanons.
Just saying.
Opinions, even. And I think because of that explanation, a lot of people don't really look too far into it. I think that people like a series they don't have to think too much on. Brotherhood is written out, for the most part, how you should feel about a character or whatever.
Hang on.
Was an exception.
Just hang on a second.
Envy 2. Envy... It's kind of left up to you to decide if you feel bad for him. Considering his suicide,
Brotherhood.
Bad for him. But at the same time, he killed Hughes, and a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
But my opinion is, they were kind of against each other. they were kind of enemies, so...
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially in the 03 series, technically Hughes did slit his throat open.
Like, yeah.
At the same time, I love Hughes. I'm
not I have to admit, Brotherhood, that was, not Brotherhood, 03, that was awesome because Hughes managed to get a hit on 2 homunculi.
At the same time,
that's basically Lust, and then Envy. How awesome was that? But in Brotherhood, he only got 1 hit on Lust. Brotherhood, he did nothing to stop Envy from getting the chance to shoot him.
He didn't deserve to die,
but
at the same time, it's understandable. Though, that brings to another point. Envy is a lot more calm and composed.
Yes, in 03. Envy is calm and collected, while Envy in Brotherhood is much more psychotic and sadistic.
In the 03 series,
I wouldn't say fully psychotic, just sadistic.
He's not as in your face about hating humans as much until a couple of his scenes come up. He's not all gung-ho about wanting to kill people and
I don't think Envy generally hates
psychotic, kind of like how he is in
humans fully. It's just on a personal level because of obvious reasons.
And I don't hate Envy. No, I like both Envies.
Again, she made a video about not hating Envy. I will react to that. And hang on a sec, I gotta deal with the wolf.
Alright, I'm back, guys. About not liking fighting, which I found.
Oh yeah, talk about Envy doesn't like fighting.
And I did notice.
I don't know. I'm really more of a pacifist
because they left out so much.
Oh yeah, and that they didn't.
Could have been at least up to about 80, 90 episodes if they had adapted the thing. I heard the episode "Dwarf in the Flask" was drastically short, which might have actually made me feel a little bit.
Yeah, Dwarf in the Flask. I still could not take serious because, well, the tone. I mean, if it's supposed to be taken serious,
Father's development is developed better in the manga. I would feel a little bit better about him as a character.
But oh my god, it was just way too goofy in my opinion.
His somewhat past with Father. I mean, with Father. With Hohenheim,
hello, Hohenheim of light,
and everything, but I still found Dante as a character. I found it interesting. She had actually trained Izumi, and you could feel her animosity towards humans. Well, I didn't really feel Father was relatable. I just felt his goals were not realistic at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not... in the situation that he was in, it's understandable to a certain degree. But Dante, she's just human. And she's something that everybody can feel a part of if they share that hatred for humans. But as I said, it's a lot more subtle. A lot of people like that action. They like that suspense. Like, that the kind of series that will really grip you as like shonen with a semi-happy ending and stuff. I personally liked 03's not happy ending because
it's a bittersweet ending is what I like to call it.
A lot of times it does not work out for the better. And with that knowledge, if you can accept it,
I think,
it's actually
of course,
I
think I brought this up before.
Well, not easy to deal with, but
I think for the reason why people don't like 03 personally is because, well, it's more relatable of real life. Well, in Brotherhood, it's much more of escaping reality and just wanting it to be how things,
still find happiness when you accept it.
Want it to be.
But if you try to avoid that or deny it, which many humans do,
yes,
it won't be that happy. So that naturally we try to take our fantasies to where life does work out fine. Life is happy.
But people who take their fantasy fetishes,
we want to escape
that doesn't turn out so well.
The truth of the matter.
In fact, it's horrifying.
We like the idea of a happy ending. We like the idea of things working out like we want it to.
Again, as Annie would say, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.
It's real. It feels real to me. The humor in Brotherhood was not so great at points.
Yeah.
Bad timing and...
Ooh, bad timing, guys. Bad timing. Honestly, Envy was pure gold in Brotherhood. I mean, he had some of the best lines and the best moments.
People don't like how dark 03 is, especially when they first started off reading the manga, because 03 is, to them, too dark at points.
03 is supposed to be its own thing, which I respect. And I like the direction it went.
Whereas in Brotherhood, it kind of sticks to a... Brotherhood and Mangahood, it kind of sticks to a, more happier feel to it. And it doesn't...
hang on a sec, guys.
Part, they stay optimistic, which is not something I could personally relate to, but again, it's a difference in people's opinions. People will find certain characters likable, whereas others won't. People will find the ending good, whereas others will find it very unsatisfying because they want it to be more climatic. They want it to be more action-packed. And meanwhile, I'm somebody, rather than the fights themselves, rather than the series, rather than the fights itself, rather than the animation, which I actually liked 03's dark color palette because I think it worked well with the series it was going
not to mention the backgrounds actually fit well with the characters.
With the darker nature
Brotherhood,
of the series itself,
are you sure the characters actually fit in the background?
It worked,
because, well, it feels like they're walking through a painting set.
Is 03, but Brotherhood's art style works well with it because it's going for a happier, lighter toned,
maybe too bright.
Story.
I'm like, this feels like the HD Wind Waker.
The animation was fine. Personally, I like both, and I'm not
too
the type
bright.
That looks at
I
the
tell
animation
you,
as a series.
too bright.
Say, oh, the animation is so much better, but I get salty whenever I go onto a video just to just about whatever it may be, something that has nothing to do with a comparison between the two series, and then I start seeing comments saying, let's just face it, 03 sucks, Brotherhood is better.
Oh yeah, it's those people.
Brotherhood is not perfect. It was a fairly weak adaptation at points. Because of all they left out, it felt so rushed, and I just felt left behind.
Yeah, I know, same here. I had to literally look up the manga just to see what was going on.
Hughes was a character I could not get attached to. Whenever I first watched Brotherhood,
in Brotherhood, he was like,
that attachment.
He's literally like, Markiplier was there for a paycheck. That's all I could see. I literally look at him and I see, oh, hey Markiplier, I didn't know you were attached to this anime.
We had a Hughes. Now Alphonse though,
Hughes in 03, oh man, he was a lot more likable.
He was more independent. He spoke up for himself. But that
also Brotherhood
in 03 could also have to do with him being. It's hinted at that he was created from Edward's memories, or brought back from Edward's memories. That's why he lost his memories or something like that. It's not something. It's just mostly a headcanon, so I don't really want to get too far into that because that's a headcanon I read somewhere else, and I don't really completely know what to think of that headcanon. It's very interesting to actually read it, but like I just felt that
character of Sloth. Okay. Or picture of Sloth.
So
never mind.
There's this
Sloth of 03.
I completely forgot what I was talking about just
because Sloth and Brotherhood.
I'll probably remember it.
Yeah, I was mostly just doing the dialogue for him.
There's also this article.
Oh, great!
It's called "The Woman."
I can't believe I have to be this lumbering oaf.
Really good,
I could have been better than that, but nope.
a
All I
really
am is
good
just
article,
all I
and
am is
it's
just a
kind of
big
explaining some
obstacle
of the depth
course
about it.
for
Here
people
he
to
says,
conquer.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
why. Is it
pretty
because
much.
she's a
Okay, that's
villain
it. I'm
and
going
more
back to
straightforwardly
vacation.
evil and thus less likable than someone like Lust. And
Okay. Hmm?
They're
I guess she's kind of editing
let's
things.
see here. It's yeah, here it's saying. Now, one thing about the 2003 anime that a lot of people forget when comparing it is, generally speaking, it's a lot more subtle than mangahood is, both with its themes and with its foreshadowing and backstory. With most of the homunculi, we only get brief glimpses about how they feel about their former lives, even with envy, where it's tied to a central motivation as a character, but with Sloth, we know exactly how she feels. She resents it. Particularly, she resents the idea that she was created by Ed and Al to replace their mother, and she is defined by them and their desires because she can't shake the memories of the person she was meant to be. Meant to be. Unlike Lust, for whom she acts as a foil, Sloth does not want to be this person. Sloth wants to be her own person, much like Envy.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's the point of her, is that she was created by males for a particular purpose and she doesn't want to fulfill that purpose. She's defined by her relationship to two boys and her central motivation that she wants to escape that. Tell me how this anime doesn't care about female agency again. Now, of course, Sloth is a villain, and much more
She
straightforward
goes,
one than
she's
Lust. Her
pretty much just
method for
reading
wanting to
this just in
escape these
case some
memories
of
is she
you
wants to kill the
kind of have a little
Elrics
trouble what's going
brothers
on.
so she doesn't have to deal with that connection as much anymore. More on that in a bit. But the show doesn't condemn Sloth's desire to escape.
Looks like I'm not the only one who has trouble reading.
And that makes sense.
Certain
Ed and
words.
Al want to resurrect their mother, not this independent person with their own opinions and desires who doesn't necessarily want this appearance and these memories and feels burdened by them. In a way, both Lust and Sloth's arc, despite being each other's foils, are about regaining agency when they're tied to the male characters who created them. In Lust's case, this comes from her redefining the memories as not ones that belong to the alchemist who created her, but to herself. These memories are mine, she specifically says. Her desire to become like her former self is about her own search for meaning and definition, not about replacing someone's girlfriend. Likewise, Sloth's desire to take the opposite approach, to rid herself of those memories and that legacy, are also about escaping from the clutches of the boys who created her and forging her own identity and destiny. Lust wants to reclaim, but Sloth wants to build from scratch. But building requires labor, which is not something you expect from someone whose name is Sloth. So let's get to debunking another point: the idea that the 2003 homunculi, and Sloth in particular, don't embody their sins. But Sloth wants to escape, and what is more slothful than escapism? That's the thing about Sloth.
Yeah, that's true.
Her sin isn't represented in the literal, obvious way that her manga counterpart is, with him not enjoying his endless toil, which I do not like 09 Sloth, because he's boring in my opinion. But
great.
he fits his sin.
At least you actually are honest with about it. Sorry.
He did not give me an interesting character arc. It was a lot more interesting to find out that Trisha was Sloth. To find out that Ed and Al had succeeded. But a lot of people disagree that if the lesson is that that's not possible, that bringing back the dead is not possible, then there was no real point in that. So, but I disagree. I think that it was good, but I respectfully disagree because you people are entitled to your own opinions. And if you weren't curious about my opinions, you probably wouldn't be watching this. But
I care what happens.
I doubt that I'm that entertaining. Most people probably stop watching by now because my videos tend not to get very many subscribers. I mean, very many likes. Unfortunately, I'm not popular like PewDiePie or Markiplier, which looks like Hughes.
I told ya.
Let me say that.
I told you. It's confirmed. Markiplier is officially Hughes in Brotherhood.
On YouTube, Jack.
I'm gonna call you Tiny Box Tim.
I can't remember his
Whoa!
name.
Look at this tiny box.
People, I'm not as popular as them, so again, I'm
that was the whole joke behind Hughes' character in Brotherhood. I easily just say, check out my Let's Play channel when you have the chance.
Her sin isn't
I'm uploading a new video.
The literal obvious way that her manga counterpart is.
Something like that.
Not enjoying his endless toll and complaining about everything being a bother. But remember that thing I said about the 2003 anime being
why does everything have to be such a bother?
This is yet another example of that. Sloth doesn't just come from not wanting to physically exert yourself or do literal, physical, tangible kinds of work, like Roy Mustang's everlasting aversion to paperwork.
I have no time for this. Full Metal? Or...
Sloth can be in the mind as well. Sloth can be about a lack of desire for mental exertion. This is where the idea of escapism comes in. Letting your mind fly off to another world rather than facing your own issues head on, which I do a lot, actually. So
that's kind of how I am as well.
I do that constantly.
Same.
Even without trying to.
But not all the time.
Running away from your problems because you don't want to put the work to properly deal with them. You don't want to put in the work to properly deal with them. And this is where Sloth embodies her sin and what I mean about her narrative condemning her means rather than her desire. Her plan to kill the Elric brothers, so she doesn't.
That was weird.
I'm sorry. I'm not a good reader. I'm sure you're getting irritated by hearing me reading this.
I can understand what you're trying to get.
So
or what you're trying to tell.
To face the fact she's the reincarnation of her mother. It's the easiest way out. And see, I'm sure you get my point by now about that. And I'm wondering if Dante was actually named based off of the it's this circle of hell thing, Dante's circle of hell somebody was talking about.
Oh yeah, the Dante Defying Comedy series. That's literally what it's called.
They would do
the
story. I've heard of several Dantes and stories,
and
I wonder if they have
to look young and cute like this.
Things. I mean, similar
relations.
Well, anyway, this right here, this is actually what
you're trying to pick a fight with me, old lady.
But I came across
because it's supposed to be
Sloth post first that
reading.
I reblogged.
So it's like this side and then go that side.
Kamichi, but
seriously, I really wish we could have gotten more between these guys.
This is one of my favorite interactions between them, and it expresses just how their character is. But unfortunately, we don't get enough. We don't get enough between them, and I really wanted more between them because they had so much potential.
Yes, Envy and Lust
These two characters had so much potential to develop.
The only kind of little bits we got from them...
Whatever relationship, whether it be family or whatever. I don't care. I just want to see more of them.
Same here. You're not the only one who wants to see more.
And I want to see more of them.
Would have been...
But we don't get enough.
Indeed.
That's one of the complaints I have about both series. We should have had more Envy and Lust.
Yes, more more Envy and Lust.
We got a lot of lust, but I'm talking about got to see more on their feelings towards each other.
Yeah,
and even
homunculi that build together.
The way the homunculi feel about each other. We got brief glimpses here and there.
Especially in that bar scene. I mean, seriously.
We got some of those.
Envy and Greed kind of go back, you could say.
But Envy and Lust was just two that I wanted to see more interactions between them. We got some, but we didn't really get a satisfying amount, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm probably alone in this feeling.
You're not the only one who wanted to see more of these two. I mean, seriously, envy and lust.
I got 124
there aren't enough
notes
of their
on
interactions.
Woo.
Yeah, like that.
And so yeah.
Where exactly is this anyway? Honestly, we really.
Yeah, this is a really good post. I ain't gonna read the whole post, but there were a couple points that they pointed out.
Just a second, please.
Development weaves beautifully with the show's major arcs. Unique, but she's so connected to the most central themes
up the volume
of the series.
A little bit, just to drown out what's going on in the background, guys.
With the protagonist, her quiet, deeply personal journey of self-discovery and internal philosophizing blows the tired trope of what makes a human out of the water and breathes nuance into it. Here's an arc of intense self-questioning, usually only given to male characters, and it revolves heavily around men without ever subtracting from her own agency in the plot. And I think it goes along with her sin, too. The fact that episode 35, one of the best episodes out there.
Oh yeah, that was Les's episode, I think.
You know, I mentioned a lot of this stuff in my other video, but I didn't really go too much in depth about it, and I felt bad because I felt like I was coming off really biased about.
Are you sure it wasn't episode 30
a little bit
or
biased
something?
At points, but I probably came off in the wrong direction on the other video, so I'm trying to make up for it here by
last video she basically didn't go into full detail.
No, not hours, but a while to actually come across. I mean, to finish.
Also, the thing about Lust in Brotherhood, she is the only female homunculus.
I mentioned episode 35. It's one of the best episodes in the series.
Yeah, because it does focus on the homunculi, but mainly about Lust.
I would say that it really...
But it's really nice that we got to see an episode mainly focused on them. Sure, you got Ed and Al and Winry. But they don't really play much of a big part in the story of that episode.
Got me.
They're just sort of on a
and it was
little bit. You could say like a 5-minute.
It starts off with you wondering, where did I come from and where will I go? And
where did I come from?
Her internal
where will I go?
Narrating or narrative, and then even her own subplot, and then we get to that where it kind of expresses how she'll act when put in a relationship. I mean, not in a relationship. What am I thinking? In a position that
a position.
I think she fell in love with him. I'm not certain about that, but either way, we get a beautiful storytelling with her, and she seems to have fallen in love with him, but
why do I have a feeling that Lust could actually be a romance novelist? I don't know why, but she could definitely be that.
She's avoiding that.
And a little bit of poetry. Why do I imagine she can do that?
It goes along with her sin somehow or another. I don't have the intelligence to explain something.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with that too.
I've never been the best at analyzing things as good as that Lowart. I think that's Lowart. He is one of the best analysis of FMA I've seen.
You mean?
And I'm looking so forward to his next episode of the analysis. But
it's basically that guy who basically looks like Star's brother slightly.
Here. I'm not good with this, and I'm actually really awkward talking to people at points. So I hope I'm not making an utter fool of myself in this video, and I probably
Don't worry, Karina.
But I'm trying my
You're basically
hardest,
trying your best. You're trying.
So anyway, back to Lust. As I was saying,
pretty much in my earlier videos, you could tell I was pretty nervous about, getting started against YouTube, but going on making YouTube videos again because, you know,
it shows
I really get nervous about this kind of stuff.
In that situation.
And plus, it was my first time coming back.
To open up, open herself up to that weakness, because whenever it's about this guy that he's trying to figure out a cure for a plague that's going on.
Yeah, and that turns people into fossil beings.
After the stuff has gone down, she kills him. You are my one mistake, or something is what she says.
You are my one mistake.
And because of her killing him, it left all those people.
Guess you could say when it comes to a homunculus that kind of comes with an attachment or something, it kind of hurts them.
Him and
especially when they have
in the last video I said that she killed
memories that
him and everybody
brings them harm
in that village. I don't think she did. I think she just killed him.
She only killed him. She only killed that one guy. The rest
left them.
Well, I think she mentioned that the ball will drop, or was it Envy who mentioned it?
Be taken over the plague. I'm embarrassing myself terribly.
You're not the only one.
But yeah, like, you know, it's odd. I'm supposed to be talking about comparing two series, kind of, but I'm going more in the 2003 series, so that's probably kind of what the series.
You can say so much about Brotherhood, and it would like, kind of have this kind of same talking feel to it,
Pride
such like this.
In 09 Brotherhood Pride.
Brotherhood Pride.
I did mention earlier that he's terrible, but at the same time, I like his character development to a certain degree.
Yeah, I really just didn't like him in general.
He's hypocritical, and he lives true to his character to a certain degree.
It's arrogance.
His sin, I mean.
Pride, the arrogance.
He lives true to it to a certain degree. And,
oh, now we're going different pictures.
Like...
This is so cool. That's the O3 design of the characters. They actually look kind of nice.
Wait, wrong one. But I do like that. Isn't that cute?
Okay, there it is.
So cute.
Yeah, I guess he does look kind of cute.
And,
that does look pretty nice.
So, speaking of which, this little bastard.
Yeah, this little brat. You're trying to stretch his mouth out.
I have questions.
No, seriously, the shadows.
The very end.
As if he didn't have a big mouth as it is.
Fetus. That's what somebody quoted.
Yes.
He turns into a fetus.
Uh-huh.
But that aside...
But he was still alive.
Okay, that, which I'm so mad that he lived.
Pride was actually killed off.
Why
so
did
he doesn't
that
have any
bastard
memories.
have to live and somebody like Greed died? That's one thing that I respect about the series. It's not completely a happy ending. That's something I don't mind about Brotherhood. Yeah. It's not a completely happy ending.
But oh my god, is that ending cheesy? Oh my god, it just made me cringe, and I just like...
It still leaves you with a bitter feeling, because Greed still died. Hohenheim still died. Hohenheim's death was sad. Sad as hell, man. And so was Greed's death. Yes. I remember wanting to cry, but because I'm a pussy that don't want to cry in front of my brother, I couldn't. I couldn't cry in front of him, but I felt like it. I literally felt my soul ripping to pieces as I watched Greed being taken away from me that time.
Pretty much the first time I saw that Envy died in Brotherhood. He killed himself.
It's still really sad, but I just
like, oh my god, I love this character. He is awesome. And then it was like, wait, what? What's going on? What are you doing? And then
it was really sad.
Waterworks.
It was really good. I think
Seriously,
that's something about the 2003 series, though.
Heartbroken.
That it's odd. Brotherhood has that first time effect on you, but 03, I had to watch things several times to really feel the effect from it, because it invokes some deep thought.
Brotherhood, you kind of expect really some things, but kind of don't at the same time. But
to really
03?
Feel that effect from
just wow.
That's
I was like
it
wow.
was with.
Why do people hate this so much?
well,
the story,
the scene that got left out, Izumi's death scene that got left out of Conquerors of Shambhala.
Yes.
They even apologized to the voice actor of Izumi for that. But that aside, that scene, after reading it a couple times, I just wanted to cry, because even more than the first time I read it, it was not as sad as the first time I read it. Wasn't as sad.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, I actually did the reading of that. Again, thanks, Karina.
Whenever I really looked deeper into it, it broke me.
And I'm gonna stop here. I will go on to the next part, guys. Just a sec.